What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one wants to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to just briefly talk about the news coming out for tomorrow and what you should be watching for when it comes to technicals, as we have a very big test to be watching for tomorrow. But before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. This offer ends in just about 11 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market for now. So I just want to break down some very important things. As a reminder for tomorrow, we have some important data coming out. Tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens, we have initial jobless claims that could cause some volatility. Then we have a bunch of Fed speakers. At about 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, we have Messer from the Fed giving a speech. Then at 11:30 a.m., we have Barkin giving a speech. Then we have Daly at about noon. And then at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Barr giving a speech. So we have a bunch of Fed speakers speaking tomorrow for many, many hours. Make sure you're prepared for that. They could move the market here and there, but it may not be that crazy. And don't forget that the biggest piece of data is going to be those initial jobless claims. Now, we want this to be around 210,000. That's what we're hoping for. It should be very close to that. It could affect the market to some extent, so we'll be watching for that going into tomorrow. Now, for technicals, things are very simple, extremely simple when it comes to the way the market is moving. We're at this critical resistance. Remember the resistance I was talking about previously? This white trend line up here is the resistance zone on this bearish channel the SPY has been on. Let me just show you what it looks like. So it's looking like this off this head and shoulders. This is our resistance. We have this head and shoulders right here, and we have this resistance on SPY. Then we also have the historical support, which is the green line you're seeing right here. The green line is our historical support, right? That is now acting as resistance as well. So we barely closed just at resistance. We're exactly at resistance. The question is, will we break out or will we fail? It's all going to depend on how we react. Tomorrow, okay, if let me actually pull out one tool. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. If we reject off of this, we're going to be heading back towards 423. If that fails us, we're going to be heading towards 422, then 421.5. If we reject off this resistance and start heading back down, then 420 is going to be a key support. That is where the market's trying to base right now as buyers are trying to defend. If we are bullish, we're going to break this resistance. If we achieve a break from this resistance, we hold 425, this thing is going to be flying towards 426.5 like this. If that fails, then if we break above that, 428 is going to be coming. Okay, those are the more bullish and bearish cases. If we break the resistance or not, that's going to be key. And watching to see if it breaks is not that difficult, guys. You just have to watch it and you will see if it rejects or not. That's going to tell us which way the market goes. Now, when you look at SPY, the 4 hour is looking more bullish on the MACD, and the daily MACD, it's starting to curl a little bit. It's still not looking the strongest, but the 4 hour is starting to curl, and the market is starting to gain some strength. So it all depends on if we break out or not, depending on initial jobless claims. From a technical standpoint, SPY looks like it wants to break out, so I'm leaning a bit more in that direction. But just to be safe, watch this test tomorrow. It's going to be a huge test. The odds do favor it trying to break out, but watch it just for confirmation. Now, the QQQ looks a bit more bullish than SPY because we have this cup and handle that is formed on it. Let me just double check this. So it basically looks like a cup and handle right here. You guys can see we have this wick down here, which makes this the cup, which is a little bit lower. If this cup and handle is going to break out, we need to see the QQQ hold 360. We stopped and closed below 360 today. So if we try to break it, you're going to be watching it try to retest 361.69 to 362. If it breaks that, it's going to start flying to much higher levels. But you want to be watching that test at 360 and then 362. How do we end up reacting? Is this going to be a failed reaction since we have that tight resistance coming? Do we pump like this then fail? Or does the market end up doing the exact opposite? Do we end up continuing to break to the upside, right? Do we break this like this off this test, back test, and start pushing up towards 366? If we break 362, I could see this thing pushing towards these imbalances. 364.5, 366 become possibilities. If we end up rejecting off of it, it's going to come right back down towards 356. What is more likely? Well, looking at Tesla, it looks a little bit more like the market wants to break out. So I'm leaning a bit more in this direction, but I'm just going to be watching just to double check and just to be safe. So we'll see this test tomorrow. Watch it very carefully. For something else, such as Tesla, this is looking quite good. Tesla looks strong actually, because when you look at, I'm going to switch over to Webull for a second. So on Tesla, when you look at the daily chart, this looks strong, very bullish looking daily candle. We're about to get a bullish cross in the PPO. It looks bullish, very, very bullish. We also have this gap up here. I don't think we filled the gap yet. We have a gap up to about 262. So Tesla's going to likely go higher. Tomorrow, watch you get a little back test of maybe the high 250s to 260, so 257 to 260, a little back test. Then it's going to start pushing higher. I think we could see Tesla try to make its way up to 262.5. If that breaks, we're going to be watching this thing push for 265. If it gets above that, it's going to likely be on its way to 270. So it looks more bullish. We also have another gap all the way up here around 275. We'd have to break particular levels to get all the way up there, but it looks more bullish, and this could help the market push up. The 4-hour chart is looking more bullish too now, after getting this bullish break from this inverse head and shoulders. If this keeps going, the full measured move would take this to about the low 270s. So there's more upside potential for Tesla. It looks like it may drag the QQQ up, and for that reason, you want to be watching these levels. So if we break 262.5 tomorrow, we're going to be watching 265, then 266, then potentially even 270. And if we break down, watch 257.5 as support below 260. Those are going to be some key levels. My gut tells me it cools off a little bit, then we start pushing higher, and that could be more bullish for the markets. To add on to this, the penultimate stock I'm going to talk about on TradingView is going to be Nvidia. We have a possible inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame. You could see we had this support right here. We just went a little below it before coming back up. Nice head right here, a left shoulder, a right shoulder forming. Looks a little bit more bullish. It's been on a strong uptrend. So watch this thing maybe back test this like 438 level, then start bouncing and pushing for 445. Or it could just start going straight to 445. Looks a bit more bullish. Looks like Nvidia is going to be pushing upwards towards 445 at least. If it breaks that, I could see it get very close to 450 over the next couple of days. It looks more bullish. For us to turn bearish, we need to see it break and close below this white trend line. If it breaks below 435 and closes below that, then it could turn bearish. As of right now, it looks like it could see a small little retracement to backtest, and it's going to push up more. So the odds do favor the bullish outcome for us getting towards 445 to 450 on Nvidia as of right now at the time I'm recording this. For Apple stock, okay, Apple is looking a little bit more bullish because we've broken above this. We've closed above where this like wedge has been, this resistance, and we're looking a little stronger. So this is a good sign for Apple. Now, we want to see Apple. It's not giving us the full confirmation yet. We do have a possible cup and handle here, but I want to see if Apple can break 174. If we break below this trend line right here, if we break this and we end up coming down, we're going to be retesting 170. If we break 174, we're going to be pushing for the gap fill towards 170. Well, we're going to hit 175.5 first for the gap resistance touch. If we fill the gap, then 176 is coming. So this is going to determine which way we go. If we break 174, we're bullish. If we break below this 172 support, we're going to be turning bearish. Right now, it looks like Apple's trying to break out with the cup and handle, so the odds do favor 175 plus. I'm leaning a bit more in that direction, but let's just watch it for confirmation for tomorrow. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the main 5 I typically go over. Now I just want to really briefly go over just a couple of others. The IWM has a bullish cross in the PPO forming. We got a nice bounce today. I think this thing is going to be on its way up to 173 plus. It looks like it wants to bounce too. I think that looking at Microsoft, this thing bounced a little bit. We were talking about this yesterday, a potential bounce that could come. It has a cup and handle as well. So I could be watching for a possibility for a push up towards this 322 area. It's worth mentioning. AMD is looking a bit more lively. We have a potential inverse head and shoulders here if we break above the 200 EMA. If it breaks 104, we're going to be watching 109. If it rejects off this, watch 102.8 as support. It looks more bullish as of right now. The VIX is looking weaker, is looking more bearish as this thing got a bearish cross in the PPO. And this thing is finally starting to retrace towards the 17.72 area, which could lead to more downside for it as the market tries to pump. The dollar is looking a little weaker as we have this bearish divergence and we have this rejection. It's currently at this resistance around 106.7. If you reject off this, watch 106.38. Finally, for Google, It's looking a bit more bullish as this thing is trying to break out. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders that's slanted. We're going to be watching these imbalances to get filled and a retest of 138 if we break above the high of the day. For Coinbase, finally, it got a nice bounce. This thing is starting to show some life. I was thinking that we would test like 69, then try to bounce. Instead, we hit 70.6, so it came a little bit higher than expected. So now it's looking like we have a potential inverse head and shoulders. So watch for a little, pullback towards this 72 area, then a potential bounce to 74 plus. So watch for a little drop, then pop on it. Amazon's at 127. We also have a potential cup and handle forming on the 30 minutes time frame if we hold. So if it breaks 127.5, watch for a push up towards 130. If it breaks below 126, watch it come down to 125. It looks like it's a little bit more bullish, so I'm leaning a bit more in the direction of it testing 127.5 and then potentially breaking that. And now Meta is starting to look a bit more bullish because we also have this. Actually, we look very stationary, but a little bit more bullish. We haven't really made our full measured move off this bullish divergence, so it looks like it wants to hit 309. Watch it retest 304, then bounce and try to get up to 309. I think there's some momentum left for it, and it may just trade sideways up there after that. So that's what I'm predicting for the markets. The market is due for a bounce anyways, so watch for a little drop then pop for the markets, and we will see how we react to these multiple resistance levels I just called out. Anyways, I want to keep this video very short and simple. I thank you all so much for listening. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.